Hey, 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 it is Friday, July 12th. July 12th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective, right? Martial arts school owners, small business owners, just trying to figure out this thing called life. We want to live happier, healthier, more prosperous lives. But in order to do that, we need to be on point mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and in our business. I was on a group call today with a team, and I shared, there's a skill set to being a great martial artist, different skill set to being a great instructor, different skill set to being a successful small business owner, and a different skill set to being an entrepreneur. And if your goal is entrepreneurship, then understand there's 4 different hats there that you need to learn to wear. And you could learn to wear them really, really, really well if you're clear on what? Your purpose statement. Ours is live your best life. And as you can see, I'm broadcasting here from one of our locations in Millbrae. Just finished a private lesson with my daughter. She's getting ready for her black belt test. And it is a proud papa moment, as Marco was reminding me, as much as it is challenging, because black belt is really, really hard. And she'll be ready. So let's thank our sponsors. Who do we have? We have Tucson. We have Marco Muscles. We have My Studio, and we have Kids Love Life Skills, and of course, LC Accounting. All people that I work with, all people whose products have impacted my business in a positive way, and ultimately have helped us sustain, scale, and grow our locations. If you're not using any of these 5 products, these companies, I would recommend you please take a look into them. Cool? And as you're coming aboard, say hello. Say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from, because today is going to be a really exciting show as we're going to get into surviving the slow months in your martial arts business, which is something we all go through. What do we got coming up? It's Time Life Purpose, November 9th through 12th, right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. My special guest, Dave Kovar. That's Saturday. We're going to watch the classes here and observe in real time. I will narrate how we do what we do, the unique culture that cultivates $2 million a year. Dave Kovar will handle the instructors boot camp. Sunday is all business, business, business. My special guest on Sunday will be Adam Lodi from Kin Creative, because we do understand digital marketing is an albatross and it's something you truly need. And if you're not doing it, I highly recommend you get the education and learning that will offer it. It's Time Life Purpose. Monday, all personal development. It's all about you. You're the leader of the band, the architect of the business. And if you're not right, it doesn't matter. Then Tuesday, Wealth Building with Sam on, followed by strategic work, big lunch at Benihana's. We cover like 99% of your meals during those 4 days. It's only for 20 school owners. I recommend you invest in yourself. You are your best investment. Go to brandonbeliso.com, look under events. Marco put it right there as well, and get signed up. What's up, Master Ray Moore? How are you, sir? How are you, sir? Again, as you come aboard, say hello. Say hello, say hello. As I work with school owners all over the world, I also did a podcast today. I do realize the power of what I do is the honesty that I offer you. I think the challenge with salespeople, they simply want to close the deal. So they tell you everything you want to hear. Right. And what I like in that too is when somebody calls you and they go, well, I'm looking for jujitsu and you teach taekwondo. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, we have grappling, and yes, we do. Because they feel once you're there, they're going to sell you and convince you that taekwondo is the way to go, and they'll throw in a wrist lock and call it a day. So I think it's really important in everything that I do, and I extend that out to the world at large, that you are honest in everything you say and do. Scarface, one of my favorite movies. I remember when he said when the drug cartel wanted him to kill this diplomat, but this little girl was in the car. His family says, I'm not doing that. He had a moral, right? Big drug dealer. Scarface had a moral. But he said that, all I have is my word and my cojones, right? His privates. That's all I have. And it's the same thing here. All I have to give you is my word. And please make no mistake, in your martial arts business, your word is gold. I will refund money if you're not happy. I will do whatever it takes to hold us, myself, my team, at the highest level of accountability, without hopping on some BS Facebook group looking for validations from other people. When I say that, I want to pipe in and go, you are absolutely wrong. Because if you were right, you had no need to sit at this Facebook page and troll for validation from other school owners that your wrong decision is the right decision. Make you think, right? Make you think. What's up, Beth? What's up, James? Sunjay. Sunjay. So I want to be mindful of that. And I've done it. I mean, after the pandemic, we had people hit us up with class cards that were 2, 3 years old. I moved away and we were refunding thousands and thousands of dollars. And it was hard to do that coming out of the pandemic, right? But it's always about doing the right thing. You know right from wrong. You know right from wrong. So when I work with people in consulting, I'm honest about that. I'm very honest. And that's why I think digital marketing is such an albatross, because it is the easiest startup business with the lowest cost out there. All I need is what? A computer, take a crash course on Facebook ads so I know how to run them, and that's it. The one thing it does not take into consideration is the creativity that goes into cultivating a script. And this is part of what we're going to talk about. A script that helps you earn the trust of your ideal demographic in a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location. You're going to listen to some person who does digital marketing where their primary strategy is marketing a single product, like a weight loss drug that they're going to ship mail out to somebody in Australia. It is totally different marketing, totally different. So when you get a vanity metric that says, whoa, look at your click-through rate, blah, 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 it could be just that, a vanity metric. So I'm very passionate about that. And so as we talk about these slow summer months, July is a very standard one in our industry, is it not? Put it in the comments. And as you come aboard, say hello. Is not traditionally July, right? Not the unicorn school. Traditionally, across the board, July is one of the slowest months. So I think the mindset has to be open the door, take the money, teach the classes. Let's get through July successfully to get ready for that August rush of back to school. But some of the things you should have put in place to help weather your summer, if you feel it, summer camps, man. Right now, I'm at the Millbury location. I think we have 40 kids this week, and the average child is paying us $400. That's $16,000. Times that by 10. That's an extra $160,000 in revenue we're generating this summer with our day camps, right? Minus expenses and all that. We're probably still net 80, 90,000 out of that. So it definitely helps those summer months. Another one that we're big on is the summer special. 3 months and a uniform for $297. The challenge will be at the end of those 3 months, winning them over, earning their trust, where they're ready to commit, in our case, to pay what? $259 a month after paying you $297 for 3 months? That's the only challenge with that. What's up, Miss Monique? So that is the only challenge with that, okay? But if you're running 150 students, please run that. Run that. In our position, we don't have the need for that. But the way we behave, in many ways, is not the way you should behave. You with me? So that's another big one that should help shore up the summer. Another one I talked about in last week's show, which helps you survive these summer months, adding some morning classes. If you're really hot, well, right now everywhere's hot. A morning class is a great way to get it done, out of the way. Kids can swim all day long. So that helps as well. And then incentive. Do things you don't normally do in the regular school year, right? Do things like, if you come to class, you get a ticket, it goes into the raffle box. At the end of the summer, we draw raffles for gift cards, maybe a PS5, maybe an e-bike, different things like that. That's another way, right? So if you're having a slow month, which we are, with all these things in place, July is still a slow month for us. Hey, Vincent, what's up, buddy? What's happening, sir? As you come aboard, say hi. Say hello, say hello. So that's another one that does really well. Addressing people on hold, right? Addressing people on hold. Before you even go on hold, in our testing cycle, we have roughly 3 to 4 stripes on their belt. Now, we do 6 stripes in a 3-month cycle. So we're already reassuring them, even though you're going on vacation, you have 4 stripes on your belt. We have workshops in place. So when you get back from your vacation, you will earn those 2 stripes. You will not be behind. You will earn your belt just like everybody else in your class. See, because what happens is when they're on vacation, the anxiety sets in. I have to go back. Everybody has their new belt. I don't. I'm behind. So you mitigate that by telling them ahead of time, there'll be no challenges when you return. You let the parent know. Be proactive. Sign them for the makeup stripe workshop so you can do it when you come back. Let them know we're going to have an extra testing date just for you so you can make up that belt. And so that helps a lot with the holds. And of course, a We Miss You postcard. Anybody who's on hold should get a We Miss You postcard. They should be in the mix and on your email list so they get the e-newsletter. So they see all the cool things happening. And why not? As you're getting close 2 weeks out, text them. I see you're going to be back in 2 weeks. We look forward to seeing you. All those things might help mitigate some of the people on hold not coming back at all. Okay? And if you have questions, put them in there. Put them in there. As you come aboard, say hi. I love questions because then I'm able to help you, right? I'm able to help you. So that's all the stuff leading up to July, right? We know July is an albatross. I can tell you 80 to 90% of the school owners I speak to are all sharing how tough July can be, right? Even if you get a lot of trials through the door, don't be surprised that they don't sign up because August is right around the corner. I have to plan for back to school. I have to see what my kid's schedule is like. I am not committing to martial arts in July. And if I am, it's only to one of your inexpensive trial offers. So other than the unicorn, I'm talking about the majority of the industry. With me? All right. Put those questions in there. Your questions are super important to me. So we've done all those things I've named, right? All those things I've named. Hang on. I got to check 3K. Thank you. Stay with me now. So we've done all those things and we're still staring into the face of July. I have school owners calling me left and right, how hard July is, how hard it is. You know, it's that way every year. So why don't you strategically save for a rainy day? Why don't you have money in the bank, and you should anyways, of a surplus to be able to take care of your expenses during July, right? During July. Because what did you do? You took a bunch of cash outs and then you spent the money ahead of time when you should have dripped it out into your expense account. Okay, think about that. You know, I don't complain that it's winter because I can't do anything about that. What do? I put on a winter coat. It's that simple. I put on a winter coat, right? Not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So I want you to be extremely mindful of that. Is July's will always be July's. Sometimes December's can be rough too. But those traditionally are the 2 months that we witness can be challenging. So set up a budget. You know July's going to be rough. Have the money in the bank to cover that. Maybe it's time for you to go on vacation in July. I don't know. So for me, I want to be extremely mindful that it's not a big deal. I think people often look at one bad month in business and they shoot themselves in the foot and they get all emotional and stressed out about it when it's only 1 month, right? You want to look at things in 3 months, 6 months, even in the year, right? We are all going to have slow months. Embrace it, know it, love it, love it. But when I see people, and the reason I say this so passionately, when I say people making knee-jerk reactions, very, very bad decisions in their business, I'm like, come on now, right? Because they're panicking. They're panicking because they didn't save money. And that to me is already a bad business model. I realize in many cases we are functioning month to month. I realize that, people. I do better than anybody. We are living month to month. Many schools, right? Cash in, cash out. That's not a good way to run a business, right? I try to keep multiple resources, savings, of course, I keep a line of credit open, even though it costs me $150 a year in an annual fee. I think I keep 150,000 out there in credit just in case. I have access to loans and different things like that just in case. But I want to avoid loans and credit cards and all of that because of the interest fee on it, right? That come with that. So I think when I hear that, it's mindful that you don't have the skill set yet of being a successful small business owner. Because if you did, you would budget properly. If you did, you would be budget minded. You would have created a budget at the end of the fiscal year of 2023 to prep you for 2024, right? Because the thing I understand, this is the martial arts business. And no matter how great of an instructor I am, I am not a great business owner until I learn the skill set, right? So with that said, I understand for me that along with that type of mindset and saving for a rainy day, I'm looking forward. What are you doing for back to school? Well, I'm cultivating new Facebook content, Facebook ads, right? Things of that nature. We have a big demo coming up at the Art and Wine Festival that we'll be prepping for that kind of launches the new school year. We have 2 kindergarten meet and greets. And if you're not doing that one, please reach out to your PTA right now. I know you have incoming kindergartners. We'll offer our facility, have a bunch of snacks and drinks. The parents and kids can meet each other, right? The anxiety my family went through when my kids went from preschool, very small environment, to this elementary school where they didn't know anybody, that's huge. That's a huge pain point. And if you can get in collaboration with the elementary schools, in particular the PTA, you could satisfy a pain point that sets the tempo, that sets everything moving forward. Because realize if I can get a child in martial arts at kindergarten and they get the value, right? They're going to choose you over any other child's activity out there. And this kindergarten meet and greet, which should not be a sales fest, but should really about creating an environment for these parents and children to connect, you're going to win. And then, of course, they've all filled out a waiver, right? So you just nurture them with an email flow. I think the thing with the kindergarten meet and greet that I've learned, as I shared, don't make it a sales fest, is that I'm mindfully creating drills where they meet each other. And guess what? They're also learning and earning life skills badges. One example, confidence, which means to believe in yourself. Okay, face the mirror. Let's learn to say our name with confidence. My name is Johnny. Okay, we practice that. Now, front row face the second row, third row face the fourth row. The child across from you, you're going to walk up to them, tell them your name, and ask them their name. That little drill, powerful. One child walks up, introduce himself, the parents introduce themselves to each other, and the kid earns a confidence badge, which is promoting the culture of life skills learning that we offer at One Martial Arts. So if you're not doing a kindergarten meet and greet, it's not too late. Connect with your PTA right now in every elementary school and give it to them straight. It's a lot better than showing up when they're doing teacher planning day for lessons in your uniform with a box of donuts. This brings real value. Who can see that? Did anyone see the real value in that? Put it in the comments. I need some interaction here. Tell me, do you see the value in a kindergarten meet and greet? Go. And while you're doing that, another one that we have coming up is we sponsored a Little League team, right? But their season ended as summer began. So everybody took off. We're going to do their end of the season baseball party in our school, which we'll treat like a buddy day. And then we'll give them a platform to give out their trophies, acknowledge the coach. We'll provide pizza and juice and all that. But again, if you treat it well and do all the things in a buddy day and, see the life skills value, these kids are going to be going, yeah, the parents are going to be here in attendance. Or you have a captive audience in your location, right? You have that captive audience. And so those back to school parties with the teams that we sponsor, are so vital. We're not just, putting our logo on their uniform and going, yay, calling it a day. We are taking it to another level by offering that end of the year party. What else do we have coming up? I think in the slow months for me, really doubling down on cleaning house. Now's the time to do that, right? Painting, repairing, all those things. Because once day camp ends for us, I mean, it's a zoo here right now. But once we get past day camp, we're going to take care of the school, get it ready for the new school year, right? So painting, repairing handles on the toilet. I have a light sensor going out in one of the dressing rooms. All those things need to happen. All of them. Now is a great time to do that because what it does for your mindset, and stay with me on this, stay with me. What it does for your mindset is this. I feel helpless. July is slow. I'm doing all this advertising. I'm doing all these things, and nobody is coming through the door. And people are still on the hold. So what I want to do is try to create a mindset of being proactive. I know what you can't do. So the better question is, what can you do? Anybody? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. So that for me is real important. Real important. And put your questions in. As we're going through today, I want to make sure I leave that space for you to offer me lots and lots and lots of questions. All right. And so we're doing that right now. The other day, the handyman was here taking care of a bunch of stuff. I'm doing it at my own house. I have things to fix. And I use the summer months for that as well, because you don't want to start back to school with a bunch of projects on your plate. You want to eliminate as much as those housekeeping challenges, as we say, and get them off your plate. Get them off your plate. Cool? So camp is ending for many of us, right? By, I think, I don't know, the beginning of January, the beginning of September or something. I'm not sure what that number is exactly. But as soon as camp ends, stay with me now, for those of you that do day camps, as soon as camps end, guess what? We are already hopping into promoting camps. That's right, because everybody's excited. The big thing is make sure you make it very clear that with these camps, whatever you book now, if you need to cancel it the Friday before the actual camp begins, you will get the money back or credit. I would do either, depending upon what they need. That way you have a lot of people booking. We do a 3-tiered system. So the first 12 spots is $400. The next 12 spots are $450. The last 12 spots are $525. So people want to get those first 12 spots. They all do. They all do. And because we run a boutique camp, only 36 max at each location, we charge a premium dollar. And somebody asked me, why don't I take more? Because we're a martial arts school, and I don't want to overshadow our core product, which is martial arts instruction, by being overran with day campers and the facility of that. Our day camp is completely separate from our main floor, and people can go through a different door to pick up their child. So we've really created that so we can facilitate our after school program, our day camp program really, really well without infringing upon our martial arts classes. Why? That's the primary culture we promote. That's where we make the majority of our revenue, right? In martial arts classes. So there's another strategy you should be working on. And what does that mean? In this case, we use my studio. So we're going to set up all the weeks of camp, all of them, price them out, all the discounts, everything's in there. Because if the parent can't easily pick up their phone, go into it and book those weeks of camp and pay for it, then you're done. You're done. You're done? No, you're done. So as you're ramping up, there's so many moving pieces. There's your in-house flyer, right? Review your landing page. Make sure all the information at your day camp is up to date. Refreshing that page with any new photos you took over the summer, right? That's important. Current photos, especially when it comes to your website. What I've learned from Stephen Reinstein and Mark Muscles, Google likes new content. The algorithms love people that have a dynamic website, not a static one, a dynamic website. So for me, as I'm also cultivating content for after school program, cultivating content for back to school, and cultivating content for our day camps, early booking, book now, right? Safe. I'm mindful that that stuff has to be done. And if you use like the Meta Business Suite on the back end, well, of course, we know that you could schedule out posts for months and months and months. I find it very challenging when a school is so fixated because we know August is huge. It's huge for everybody. You're so fixated on enrolling new students that you forget the fundamentals. And that is keeping your social media content up to date and consistent. That is batching out photos to Google, right? Google, I think, is often really overlooked by people, especially when it comes to your Google business page. How many people I look at and they've, claimed it, right? You've claimed it because you get the little mailer that says, here's your verification code. They want to make sure that you have a brick and mortar address. I know it's pretty archaic for a tech company, right? But that's how they do it. They send you a little thing in the mail, postcard, and you go back and say, here's the code. So you want to keep things dynamic. Now's the time to write blogs. Lots of them. Lots of them. So you can constantly update that at your Market Muscles website. I blog a lot because what it allows me to do is it positions me as an authority in my community, right? And you better know that most of what I lean into in my blogs are about parenting, are about how martial arts benefits kids. Yeah. And for a while, I had the #1 martial arts blog. I don't know where I am now because it's not something I fixate upon, but I consistently write content that positions us as a culture as being a go-to for parents because we understand, we work with children, we empower children. So I want to make sure that that blog is there. But the yin yang of that is Google loves me because my website is not static. What's that mean? It hasn't been updated in years. It sits static. Not a good day and not something I recommend. But the discipline that comes with that is just that. Is just that. It requires a lot of discipline to consistently produce content, be it Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, right? Updating your website. It takes a lot of discipline to do that. And I would never chat GPT that. I might Grammarly for spell check and things like that, but you are the storyteller of your business. You are the architect. So by you cultivating really good blogs, Google's going to smile upon you and your parents will look forward to it each and every month. So there's so many things you need to do. What have we talked about so far? Anybody? Put it in the comments. What have we talked about up to this point that resonates with you that you're going to act on right away? And do post your questions as well. If you have any questions, please put them in there and I'll be happy to get all over them for you. Okay. One of my clients, Sunjay, just remodeled her school. That's a good thing to do, right? I come back after the summer. Ooh, look at the school. It's so amazing, right? Because this environment is a big part of what endears people to your community. If that wasn't the case, why is it I think on average Starbucks remodels every one of their facilities every 3 to 5 years? They remodel it, wear and tear, freshen up the place, a new look. All of those things for me have always added up to that level of excellence in line with somebody like a Disney. I went to Disney not too long ago and it was so clean. And it reminds me why people come here, right? And they're like ninja. You'd think in today's tech world, they'd use some robo vacuum or something. No. Little dustpan on a stick with a sweeper broom. That's it. Because they don't want to be intrusive and they almost want to be like ninjas as they move around Disneyland, cleaning up behind you. Everybody with me? Cool. All right, so quick sponsor break. While I wait for your questions, your thoughts, put them in there. Vincent, Monique, Sunjay, James, Beth. Toussaint, they supplied the uniforms for the Olympians. And that's pretty cool. I mean, that alone speaks volumes about them as a martial arts supply company. I've known them since the 90s. Good people. If something doesn't go right, which things absolutely not go right, they make it right. Market Muscles, Steve and I are going to Las Vegas to pitch the Market Muscles websites essentially to the dance industry. Big convention, him and I will stand together on stage side by side. And I believe it's a wonderful product. And I believe we're going to open the doors to the dance industry that are currently not there. Not there. My studio, man, they just launched version 2. It's getting better. It's getting better. Did I say that? And it's getting better. Kids Love Life Skills, we're close. We're going to have a new subscription-based model I think you'll be really happy with. But having access to this depth of support materials from coloring sheets, live talks, student parent handouts, instructor, all these different things to help educate and facilitate life skills in your school. If you're not doing that consistently, you're going to fail. And LC Accounting, I love Tish. She's just a good soul, man. My sister takes care of me. You need a good bookkeeper. I'm telling you, you need a good bookkeeper right now. Cool? All right. I don't see any questions. Are we still there, Marco? Are we still there? Who else is there? Tell me who you are, where you're from, where you're tuning in. All right. So we're going to get to the hard stuff now. The hard stuff for me, because of all the vacations and, I drive my son around to basketball, is really recognizing that it's not about looking at it as the last 4 months in the year, right? Make a break for it. Let's end the year strong. I methodically have to work to make each day strong, each week strong, each month strong, each quarter strong, each biannual, 6 months strong. That's really the gig. And that's what it's all about. 1 minute you're doing so well, next minute you don't know how you lost 30 students. That is a lack of attention. So for me, this time of year, like every day, I wish I could say it was only this time of year, is spending that introspective reflection, right? Really sitting down and going, am I happy? Is this what I want to do? And if I make the decision, I am happy, and this is what I want to do, then I'm going to make the investment. I believe we often invest in things that don't improve our business because we think we should be investing in something versus nothing, right? So you go out and hire a digital media company. You go out and, start working with a consultant. You start doing all those things, but you're not clear on what real information you need to create your version of success. So this is a great month to get out that journal and start sitting down and crafting. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And if you can define that, then creating the vehicle around it to make it a legitimate business and scale and monetize that, it's yours. It's all yours. And I say that passionately because when I work with school owners, I think the biggest challenge they have is not knowing who they are. I just want 100 students. Why? Well, that's what the industry says. But why? Right? So for me, that part of it is really, really vital. Real vital. Real vital. Because I watch you bleed through a lot of money and not even know that you're bleeding through it. You're just so out of tune. One school owner says, people are leaving his school. And I said, well, ask them why. Ask them why. And do you know what they said? You're inconsistent. I said, what? You're inconsistent. And what they meant by that, either he's really on when he teaches or he's really off when he teaches. The mindset I live and die by, because we use a month-to-month subscription, is that we're only as good as our last class. We step on that mat with a sense of urgency. This is my first class, my last class, the only class I'll ever teach. Because that really puts into effect that statement, they're one day closer to being a black belt or the one day closer to quitting. It really puts that one in perspective. So during these slow months, we're revamping curriculum, right? We're getting ready to tear apart our equipment racks and replace everything that's old and funky. There's nothing better than to come back from a long vacation and the school is spruced up, smelling good, looking good, right? Nothing better than that. So I don't believe there's ever a slow month. There's always quality work you can do, which may not provide instant gratification today, but that consistency long-term is going to help you. Hey, Virginia, what's happening? Virginia from Journey Martial Arts. And what it's allowed me to do is create a level of freedom that I wake up for like a little kid every day. And I've always worked for myself, but it's been struggles at time. But today I'm in a position where I can wake up and know that I'm taken care of in that way, right? And financially. And that's a big one too as you come into these slow months. If you save for a rainy day, you invest properly, you have multiple revenue streams, all these different things, then when you have a month like now, it's no big deal. But make no mistake, I know all too well what it's like to sleep in the school, work 7 days a week, 17 hours a day, feeling like nothing's happening. Why am I not getting new students? I get that. I get that. But no reason to panic. It really is about you being the architect. When you plan out that whole year in November for the coming up in the next year, right? And the next year coming up, 2025, in November, you should be planning. Why not start now? You got the time? Start now. Craft out that calendar for the whole year of 2025. And part of that should be July is a slow month. January through June, I'm going to save a little bit every month to cover all of my expenses in July. Please don't come to me and say, hey, I'm concerned I won't make rent in July. What special are you running right now that I could do to generate revenue to cover my July expenses? That is not a good way to do business, folks. It's simply not. It's not. And to get you to shift that mindset is the beginning of you becoming a successful small business owner. Great time. I take the summers off. And of course, my payroll gets inflated, right? But the freedom I enjoy to be with my kids and my family and vacation and do things is just unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I want to give that to you. But you got to do the real work, right? The kind of work you've never done. Ask Sunjay, ask Marty and Beth. I've got them doing work like they're like, man, right? But of course, a digital marketer is going to sell you the world. Your end all, be all solution is to get more students. No, it's not. It's one small piece of a big puzzle. Take a deep breath and absorb that. Take another deep breath and exhale. One more for me. Take a deep breath. Boom. So, what else are we looking at? For us, of course, after school, right? That's coming up. Gratefully, we have 20 out of the 36 spots filled. So right now in July, what am I working on? Scripts. I'm writing a lot of scripts for kin. I'm designing these ads that I believe have a greater impact on a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location. So our after school commercial is done. Our after school script is done. And all we got to do is start launching it because the kids go back to school by August, second week of August here. So you better believe it. Parents are looking at after school programs right now. Right now. And gratefully, we only have 15 spots that need to be filled. Yes, it is so good, Beth. It is. It is. It really, really is. But I get it, and I see it, I've seen some ad today, and the guy's just all bold, I'm like, I get it. But what I'm encouraging you to do is the kind of work that will create a legacy business. And I know they tell you, build a business you're going to sell. Build a business you're going to sell. 99% of our industry will never sell their business. They won't, right? They'll pass it on to a student, to their kids, or close it. So what I'm encouraging you, though, is build a business that is a legacy business, right? One you can sell if you choose. One that is sustainable and growth-oriented so somebody can take it on. A legacy business survives pandemic. A legacy business survives bad economies. It does. But there are strategies that go into place in building that legacy business that you have to be willing to do the work for. Systems is number one. If I have a systems-driven business versus a personality-driven business, then I can insert a lot of people into that position because it's simply training them on the systems. right? But systems aren't glamorous, but they're the key to your freedom. Read that in email. Ray Kroc says that. Took a bunch of high school kids with no work ethic. And what did he do with them? He created $1 trillion business. That's pretty amazing. But it's that type of disruption that I'm an advocate for. So if you haven't joined our disruptors group, put the link in there, Marco. The disruptors is all about that. You know what's disruption? Uber. Let me get this straight. When I grew up, you never get into a car with a stranger. Never. But because of the disruption, everybody and their mother gets in a car with a stranger. Isn't that what Uber is? But that's an example of disruption. So in your own mindset, in your own school, in your own community, ask yourself right now, what disruption are you cultivating? Being different for the sake of being different is ill-fated. Being different because you genuinely are and you have a story to tell in your business, I'm an advocate for that. Cool? So we covered back to school. That's another big one for us right now. And just a simple exercise of going into your email list and sending an email out. Subject line, quick question. Content, are you still interested in martial arts classes? That's been tried and true for decades now. Quick question in the subject line, right? And so you should be mining all the data from all those past leads and stuff that are just sitting there. They're just sitting there. And because you're too busy opening the door, taking the money and teaching the classes, you never get around to doing that, right? You never get around to doing that. Now is a great time to mine that. It's low-hanging fruit. It costs you nothing. You just have to decide what it is you're going to say to them other than quick question, right? And utilize that. How about an internal referral? We have a referral system, but it's not super, super good. I think it needs more work. If we know the best way to get new students is through word of mouth, why don't we have a stronger? I don't know, right? Because we're too busy opening the door, take the money, teaching the classes. Did you know Starbucks, I can co-brand with them and get gift cards? Yeah, I find our parents love referring us. How about having a $50 Starbucks gift card anytime they refer somebody, that Disney experience of handing the card to them? Don't give them, credit to buy a uniform or sparring gear. No way. Give them what Joe E. Public wants, right? And that's an example. So you can get your name co-branded with Starbucks gift cards. Pretty cool, right? Because the big thing I learned is not everybody just simply wants you to give them credit or money. Something as cool as that can use right now is very, very valuable. So that internal referral program is something, if you don't do it better. Learn to do it because it's still going to be our best source for getting new students. Cool? Yeah. What we do is really special. And if we believe that, I don't understand why we don't treat it that way. We really, really should. And we don't. We don't. And when I look at your social media and your website, I know a lot of it's the bandwidth you have and it's an oversight, but utilizing the slow months to really clean up your social media, to really activate your Google business page, which isn't just sitting there static anymore. Those things are so important. In my work with Kin Creative, that's one of the first things we share with our clients. We produce these great ads for you, but if your website, your Google, your Instagram, your Facebook are not in line, even down to schedule. I don't want to see one schedule at Facebook, one schedule at Google, one schedule at Google. That's totally different. They need to all be the same as it is in the website. Right down to pictures, right down to logos, right down to brand color. I was working in one school and he had like 3 different versions of a logo. I'm like, time's up, pencils down. You need one really strong logo that communicates your brand. Lots to do during these slow months. So I guess they're not slow months, are they? They're time for maintenance. They're time for revisiting projects. They're time for bettering yourself. They're time for planning for back to school, right? And the after school program in the new school year. There's a lot to do. But what I see happen many times is people get frustrated, which is human. They get overwhelmed, which is human. And then 2 things happen. One, analysis paralysis. They do nothing. Nothing. Or two, they have a knee-jerk reaction to the fear of a slow month, and they go out and spend all kinds of money that they don't have on marketing and things like that. And then they have buyer's remorse at the end of August, at the end of September, more likely, and they're going, man, I shouldn't have spent that money. No, you shouldn't. But see, to have that vision during the slow months, that not only open the door, teach them, take the money, teach your classes, not only that, but I am working on all the different avenues of my business to put us in the best position when back to school rolls around. Huh? And again, I find it helps me be very proactive and positive when I focus on what I can do versus what I can't do, what I am in control of versus what I'm not in control of. Yeah. And all those things for me in particular have allowed me to create the life I lead today, to impact you and help the martial arts industry, to keep my wife really happy, to have time to do a private lesson with my daughter, to go to my son's basketball games tomorrow. All of that is because of that type of work that nobody in a Facebook marketing group is going to sell you, right? 90 students in 3 days. It's not going to happen. It's not yet. They'll sell it to you. They'll sell it to you. And yet, some people will buy it. Again, these slow months are not slow months. Cool? All right. So as we begin to wrap up the show today, please put in your questions. No question is a bad question. If anyone else is sitting up there, say hi. I'm amazed how many people tell me, I had somebody today on a group call. I've been following you for years. Why don't you ever say hi? Why don't you ever say hi? Right? So I think it's very important. No, not a little important. It's very important to recognize that the work we do, even though it's unheard and unsaid, make no mistake, what you do is of great value to the communities that you serve, especially if you work with children. But if you believe that, then please tell me. Kevin, long time, sir. How are you, sir? Long time. It's good to see you there. It's good to see you there. With that said, if I know what we do for this community is of such great, great value, why am I not consistently, habitually investing into bettering my curriculum? Why am I not consistently and habitually investing into my team and training, paying them better, all the rest? Right? If I impact and I believe that's my purpose, why isn't I'm not consistently and habitually improving the environment that these classes are taught in? Why? Yeah. So as I look around this beautiful school of Millbrae, I'm like, that needs to be painted. Oh man, there's a chip on that Formica. To me, that stuff makes me nuts because it's not the little things that matter, it's everything that matters. And that attention to detail will incrementally move the needle. Because the bottom line is all these things I'm sharing you, if it's not making us money, then I'm just some kumbaya guy. Might as well go sit on a rock, right? Sit on a rock and profess what I know. What I do believe is everything I'm teaching you today about how to best position yourself during these slow months is ultimately going to make you money, right? And I know that kind of belittles or downgrades what I'm sharing with you about this type of mindset during the slow months, but make no mistake, it can serve you well. I'd rather be happy and make money than be unhappy with a lot of money. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to start wrapping up the show. What questions you got? Put them in there. Welcome aboard, Kevin, Virginia, Monique, Vincent, James, Master Raymore. When I did the podcast this morning for Apogee, and that's coming up, I'm doing a virtual summit with them. Dave Kovar, Roland Osborne, a lot of great people are going to be on it. And it's a virtual event. So take a look at that. Maybe you can find that for Doug Rankin. Marco and post it for us. We're a squirrel trying to get the nut. We're so busy chasing the singular entity of more money, that we tend to forget that if I'm not right in my heart and my head, none of that's going to make a difference. None of it. None of it. Master Raymore, any advice for opening a second location? Well, first of all, I hope you've mined all the data of what you did wrong in the first one. Right? Master Raymore, I made so many mistakes in that first location that it set me up for success in the second location. I had the blueprint. Number two, ask yourself why. Why do I want to open a second location? And make sure, if you open it, that you do it with the right people. School owner up in Canada that I had a conversation with, they opened a third one, and then the guy bailed on them. Their partner bailed on them, right? So I think it's important for me that if you're going to open that second location, Master Raymore, that you are 100,000% confident you're doing it with the right people. Make sure you're doing it with the right people. And then, of course, tightening your brand. Beyond is a great brand. So you have a brand, you have a logo, you have a uniform. So that part of it is tight and right. A SWOT analysis. Do a business plan, Master Raymore. I mean, most people open their schools and they never do a business plan. I don't get that. I don't get it. Because of what it really does for you, Master Raymore, is as you move into multi-locations, you now become the architect. It's easy to architect one business, right? Do that at 2 locations, 3 locations, 4. Things change. Architect multiple revenue streams and several businesses. That's a whole different mindset. So in looking at that, one of the biggest things we did, proximity-wise, and I know you're out in Bakersfield, Millbrae is about 20 minutes away from San Francisco. So one of the things we consciously did, and you know where I had seen this? Starbucks. No, Pete's Coffee. I went to one Pete's Coffee in one city, and I saw a barista I see every day in Millbrae, right? Back when I actually got Pete's. Now I make my own lattes at home. Then I went one town over to Burlingame. I saw the same barista. Then I went to another one north, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes in South San Francisco. He was there again. So Master Raymore, what did that teach me? Anybody? What did that teach me when I saw the same barista that I liked at Pete's Coffee in Millbrae? I saw him at 2 or 3 other locations. What did that teach me? What did Kevin write in there too, Marco? Can you throw that up? When do I recommend posting on social media? You know when I go to send out the e-newsletter, it'll give me an optimal time based upon the people in my email list and their social media habits. I know that as well. Do I think there's a better time? We do know our main office, our main demographic for us is moms, sir. So ironically, and you'll like this for me. I'll come back to you, Master Raymore. You're going to like this, Kevin. Google found a huge spike in users at 1 a.m. in the morning. Trip, right? Okay. Who are they? You know who they were, Kevin? Moms. And you know what their number one concern was? How to help my child. How to help my child. So at Google, if I was running a Google ad, I want to get that Google ad in front of her eyes, especially if she's there Googling. So I know that I don't believe there's always a better time. I think what's more important, Kevin, is to be consistent with your social media posts and to schedule a time every week. Like for me, normally it's Sunday. Everybody's in bed. I sit there Sunday night, go to my Meta Business Suite, and I plan out all these posts and I schedule them, right? Remember, I have Kids Love Life Skills. I got one martial arts San Francisco, one martial arts Millbrae. I have Brannon, Beliso. Right? I have my consulting. So I'm posting at a lot of different platforms. I think the goal is to be consistent. And of course, the live social media posts while a class is going on, right? When we have the cotton candy machine at an event, all these different things. My car talks, right? I built my brand on the guy in the car. I built my brand on it into a six-figure consulting business based upon those car talks. Go figure, right? But I think the goal, more importantly, Kevin, is like I shared, to be consistent. So, Master Raymore, do it with the right people. Do it with the right people. And then do a business plan. And the SWOT analysis is the biggest part. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What are your strengths? Is it that person who's going to do it with you? What are your weaknesses? Right? What if that person leaves? What are your opportunities? Scale and growth. You know, that's SWOT. And what are your threats? The real threats. This one school owner, he had to sell the school to this guy because the guy was going to walk and they didn't even have their doors open. And they're still tied up in litigation over it. Please make sure it's the right person. But systems and having a deep bench strength, Master Raymore, will also mitigate that. If you leave, I have someone else to slide right into your spot, right? I have somebody to slide right into your spot if you leave. Cool? And then, of course, when you do that, creating that budget, Master Raymore, really helps me get into that mindset of a small business owner. Even till this day, I'm very mindful in the businesses how we spend. For example, the air conditioner. It's going to take a crane. It's a $28,000 project. But you know what I was thinking? I have 2 units up there, Master Raymore. And it's up to me to fix them. This unit right here is pretty old. How soon is this going to break down completely? So even though it's a bigger investment, I won't pay for a crane twice. You follow me, sir? So I think opening a second location is a good thing, but to do it right is the challenge. So maybe we'll get to work together on that because I have data. I have 2 locations, right? I have real data that I can help you with that. So going back to that original question, nobody answered it. Why do we have the schools 20 minutes apart? Well, we know logically, Master Raymore, Starbucks does that. They open a Starbucks every so many miles. Pete's does it too. But what I really learned with that barista moving around, I asked him, I said, dude, why are you at, I see you everywhere. He goes, well, because one of the things I do for Pete's is I train people. So they move me around between these 3 locations, right? Because I ain't driving 100 miles. They schedule me between these 3 locations so I can train people. So guess what we do? My core staff, Master Raymore, my rock stars, my full-time guys who have made this their career, guess what? We shuffle them between the 2 locations, right? It's innovative. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people do that in our industry, but we do. So let's wrap this up. What do I have coming up? November 9th through 12th, It's Time Life Purpose with Dave Kovar, digital marketing genius, Adam Lodi, wealth builder, Sam On. It's a 4-day event, 20 people. Make the investment. School owner said, I can't get away from my school for 4 days. I said, then you really need to be at It's Time Life Purpose. I shared, I haven't taught in San Francisco for 7 years. I was in here last night for the first time in 2 weeks, and I'm down to teaching 1 day a week, right? So if you can't get away for 4 days, you need to get away for 4 days. It is the number 1 martial arts growth event. There is, because nothing is going to have the discipline to serve 20 people for 4 days, because I know the impact it has because of the focused learning environment that we create and provide. But you want to stay for 1 or 2 days, you can do that too. But it's really the 4 days. The link is there. I know Marco put the link in there. Make sure you sign up for that. Our It's Time group mentoring, something a little more affordable than my wisdom program. Me and my team, we work with Sunjay and Marty and Beth. They're getting a lot of love and their schools are growing. There you go. Because I do realize that you need a mentor, but more than a mentor, you need a team of people, of like-minded people that are going to genuinely help you move that needle. Monique, Jason, Marco, myself, working together with them. They've all been my clients. We can get in there for you and help you. Marty from Black Dragon. What was that? I didn't see that. And then, of course, let's thank our sponsors. Again, I'm going to toot my horn. I love Tusa, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and C, accounting. Cool. As you see, I'm in a very reflective mode. I know Marco must be going, wow, this guy's normally talking 1,000 miles an hour and he's just so mellow, right? I'm just so mellow. When I get a chance to be in the schools like this, they're kind of like the halls of freaking Hogswort, right? We do amazing things. And we need to honor that by getting the education that goes with allowing us to be in that position. Otherwise, for most of you, you're just an extracurricular activity. That's it. And I want relationships of value. In order to have relationships of value, I need to be viewed as an investment to my parents. Because if we can do that and be viewed as an investment, and that's the entrepreneurial mindset, an investment, your students will stay with you longer. If I look at my team as an investment, then I have the freedom I enjoy today. If I look at these schools as an investment, I'll put money into them to scale and grow them. If I look at my portfolio as an investment, I will constantly put money into it to grow it. If I look at myself as an investment, then I will do amazing things like sign up for It's Time Life Purpose. Cool? All right. So thank you, Marco, for helping me out today. Thank you for everybody choosing to take your valuable time to be here. If you can do one thing for me, share this with somebody. Have them subscribe to my YouTube channel. Watch all the episodes of Success Never Sleeps. Have them subscribe to the podcast of Success Never Sleeps. Tell them to follow me at Instagram. Join the Disruptor group if you haven't done so. And then for everything else, go to brannonbeliso.com. Cool? All right. Thank you so much for today. I'm out of town next week. I have a basketball tournament. My son's got one in Vegas. So the team will either handle the show or we're going to have a really cool replay. All right. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out and do? Live your best life.